Recklessly, then. Not recklessly, then. But just with cautious abandon. Oh, humbug, Mr. Scrooge. Come on, Torvald. Your promotion means lots and lots and lots of money.
After the New Year's, remember? And then it's 3 months till it kicks in.
Oh, well, that's what credit's for.
Nora, not a care in the world, especially when it's someone else's money. Fine. Suppose that I borrowed today and you went out and spent it all for Christmas, and then on New Year's, I plow my car into a tree.
It serves you right. You shouldn't drink that much.
Nora!
You're horrible and depressing.
Well, still, what if?
If you were splattered all over the oak in the front yard, my dear, I doubt I'd care too much about money.
Very funny. But what about the people who lent it?
Well, who cares? I wouldn't even know who they were.
To be a woman. Seriously, Nora, you know me on this. No borrowing, ever. It makes you a slave. You know real freedom or joy, my darling, in a home.
Home built on debt.
What is this? Is my little chipmunk going to pout? Then I guess you don't want what I've got for you.
Money?
I can't resist. It's Christmas after all.
50, 60, 80. Oh, thank you, Torvald. Well, that will keep me going for a long time.
I hope so.
Thank you, it will. And the presents have set me back a bit. Oh, just a wee bit. And look what I've bought, and all so cheap. Bargain shopping. Look, new shoes for Emmy, and a pretty little doll in a party dress for Tess. Very plain. And anyway, she'll tear it apart before New Year's. And some beautiful new knitting needles and a flannel scarf for Helen. And...
This?
No, Torvald, give me. You can't see it until tomorrow morning.
Okay. And now, what does the beautiful, extravagant Mrs. Torvald Helmer want for Christmas?
Me? Oh, nothing. Well, there's nothing that I need.
Come on, there must be something reasonable that you've kept your eye on.
No, I really can't think of anything.
Nora.
Well, unless Torvald.
Yes?
Oh, well, if you're just dying to get me something.
Here we go.
Stop it. There's nothing I really need. So if you could give me money and then I could buy something for myself when I find the right thing.
Nora.
Something that reminds me of you.
My love.
Oh, come on, darling. Pretty, please. And then I will wrap it up in a beautiful paper with a bow and put it under the tree and sign your name to it and act all surprised when I open it and give you a big, big kiss. And make the children laugh. And then tomorrow night when the children are put to bed.
That would be very nice, actually.
So?
Will you really save the money and then really buy something for yourself? Not spend it on housekeeping or the kids or those pastries.
Macaroons. Oh, I haven't had one in weeks.
Nora, you do spend too much money. You know this.
Well, that's unfair. I save all that I can.
You're right. All you can, but you can't save anything.
Well, you've no idea how expensive it is being a songbird and a chipmunk and a girly girl these days, Torvald.
You're just like your father. As soon as you got your grubby little mitts and some money, poof, it's gone. Now you see it, now you don't. It's just in your blood.
Well, I wish I had inherited more of Daddy's qualities.
And I would not wish you to be anything than just what you are, my sweet little songbird. Are you all right, darling? You look...
What?
Look at me.
What?
You been to the bakery today?
No. Torvald, I haven't.
I've been nibbling.
No.
A macaroon or two?
I told you before. I haven't.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
Well, you don't sound like it.
Of course I am. You gave me your word. Look, I hooked up the tree.
Did you remember to invite Dr. Rank tonight?
No need. He'll show up anyway. Okay, I'll ask him when he comes by this afternoon. Oh, and I've picked up 2 bottles of champagne, almost reasonably priced. We'll have a little feast.
We will. And think of the kids and the gifts tomorrow. Oh, can we sing?
There'll be a blue Christmas without you.
Oh, Torvald.
Isn't this something
Well, something what?
glorious? My family, my beautiful wife, my children, hearth and home.
I like that. Something glorious.
So much better than last year. For 3 weeks before, you shut yourself up every night to the wee hours of the morning, making ornaments, wrapping gifts, stringing popcorn to all the surprises on Christmas Eve. It was the dullest 3 weeks of my life.
Oh, I didn't find it dull.
Neither did the cat.
It tore everything to bits, cute as he is.
Well, never again.
And why not? I enjoyed it.
But from now on, I don't need you to sit there and have me sit here, be bored out of my head, and you don't have to ruin your pretty eyes and think.
No, Torvald, I don't, do I? Wonderful. Now, I've been thinking we have to redecorate the den. As soon as Christmas is over, we need a new rug. And this color is completely... Oh, who's that? Helen?
Remember, I'm not home.
Helen? Oh, Dr. Rank.
Oh, Nora. Hi, Nora.
Oh, he is in his study.
I'd rather stay with you. Oh, I think someone's following me. Another guest.
Christmas Eve. Hello, I'm sorry. Come right in. Please, it's freezing. Can I help you?
How are you, Nora?
How do you do?
You don't. Oh,
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, my. Christine,
Nora.
Christine, I'm so sorry. I didn't, you've changed, Christine.
Certainly. What, almost 12 years?
How long? Well, time flies when you're having, when you're happy. Oh, Christine, it's so good to see you. Well, when did you?
Just yesterday.
Really? For Christmas, of course. Well, wonderful. We'll have a ball. How rude of me. Please take off your coat. Helen, not too cold, I hope. We'll warm you up in no time. Come, let's get cozy. I'll turn up the heat a tad. Shh, don't tell Torvald. There you are, your old self again. I see you now. It was just the surprise of... Well, you are a bit paler, Christine, and a little thinner.
And much older, Nora.
Oh, don't be silly. You look good. We all have to watch our waists now, don't we? It's hard. You want a macaroon? Well, maybe a bit older, but aren't we all? Oh, how awful of me. I can't stop talking. Well, Torvald always says... Oh, Christine, forgive me.
Why?
I'm thoughtless. You lost your husband.
Yes, almost a year now.
Yes, I knew. I saw the obit. I meant to write, but you put it off, and then before you know it, it seems best left alone. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. How painful that must have been. He left you nothing.
No,
Children?
no,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
nothing, Nora. Not a tear or even a bit of grief.
I'm so sorry.
Why? Well, c'est la vie, for some of us anyway.
Yes. Well, how would you like to meet the kids? I have two, Emmy and Tess. Well, maybe later, I think, but Helen might be... Actually, I don't know. I'm chattering away again. Christine, tell me about you.
No, Nora, it's nice to hear about the family.
No more selfish Nora. What about you?
Well,
Except I will tell you this one thing. We've had the best news. Guess.
what?
Torvald has just been promoted. He's managing the bank.
Congratulations.
Thank you. His degree's actually in law, but you can't make any money doing that if you want to hold on to your scruples. And Torvald is very scrupulous, which is hard to be in this world, goodness knows. But this job, A much bigger salary and commissions, bonuses. Everything is going to change. Money, money, money means no anxiety, no worries. The best feeling in the world, isn't it?
I'm sure it would be wonderful to have what one needs.
No, 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 not just what one needs, but buckets and buckets and buckets of money.
Same old Nora, Nora.
Oh, you sound just like Torvald. But Nora is not as silly as you think. I don't waste money. Well, not anymore. We both worked very hard.
You?
Yes, as a matter of fact. At home, needlework, crochet, embroidery, that kind of thing. Well, we had Emmy right away. In that first couple of years, he worked impossible hours, weekends, months, without a day off. Never enough money, so we needed every hour and every side job. And then Tess. And the stress led to, well, let's just say he got very ill and he couldn't take it anymore. The doctor mandated a rest in a more peaceful setting.
I heard you spent 4 months away?
Well, abroad, yes, he had to go, so we made it happen. Saved his life. But it wasn't cheap.
I can imagine.
Almost $5,000.
My. Well, you were lucky to have the means.
Well, lucky to have my father.
Yes, he passed away right around that time, didn't he?
Yes. Well, he was very sick, and because of Torvald's condition, I couldn't be with him and with the girls. Well, still, it was sudden, and I'm sorry.
Well, you came back and Torvald was
Yes, wonderful, strong as an ox, never better.
great. Then why the doctor?
Who?
The older gentleman. He had a bag. I thought came up the walk just
Oh, Dr. Rank! It isn't a professional visit. He's our best friend. I can't remember a day in the last year when he hasn't just happened to drop by. No, Christine, we are all fit as fiddles and happy, 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 okay? Enough about Nora, please. Christine, tell me, how are you? 12 years. I can't believe it. Start at the beginning. You got married and.
Yes, my husband and I never loved him, Nora. My mother was still with us and barely hanging on. My two brothers were too young to care for themselves. Not romantic exactly, but one must live.
Oh, of course. He had money.
At first, but things happen, Nora.
I'm so sorry.
I had to do something and I did. Lots of things. Some little side business like you, odd jobs, some home care. Even managed night school to learn bookkeeping. Anything I could. The last several years have been one long slog, Nora. But my mother doesn't need me anymore, finally. And the boys are on their own, whether they like it or not.
You must be relieved.
I am.
Sad, of course, but
No, to be honest. Empty, maybe, but not sad. No time for it. Hard work, Nora, living for others. I wouldn't recommend it. Though it does give you purpose. But that's history now. Can't change it and wouldn't even if I could. Onward. So here I am.
you need a break, Christine. Don't forget what I told you about Torvald.
I'm not as lucky in my family connections, Nora. Some of us can't run to daddy for money when we need it.
I'm sorry?
No, that was unkind. Forgive me, please. The bitterness. Sometimes no matter how hard I try, I can't bite it back. Survival makes you selfish, Nora. And instinct has a way of getting the upper hand.
I understand.
Thanks. Nora, can I be straight with you?
Of course.
You're Torvald. He's running the bank now?
Yes.
Well,
Yes?
I'd like a job.
Oh, Christine, yes. He could, of course. Well, how could he not? He'll have to. I'll make him. Leave it to me. He can be awful proper about such things, but I have my ways.
I was planning on trying there anyway, but every little bit helps.
It is who you know, isn't it?
That I don't know, but who I'd like to find out. Thank you, Nora. Really, it must seem pathetic to you with all your success and good luck.
Luck?
Never a word.
Luck?
Since we were kids. Nora, not a care in the world.
You don't know me as well as you think, Christine.
No?
Well, I know you think I'm a frivolous little girl.
No, I just meant
What
that.
could I possibly understand about hard work, sacrifice?
Of course not. No. You told me you've had trouble.
That was nothing.
I'm sorry. As I said, sometimes I
You're
just.
proud, right?
Excuse me?
Of what you've done for your mother, your brothers?
Yes, I am.
You should be. And I am too. Well, can you keep a secret?
Of course.
I saved Torvald's life.
How?
Well, I told you about our trip.
Yes, the one your father paid for?
No.
No?
Well, that's what Torvald and everyone else thinks, but Daddy didn't give me the money.
Then how?
$4,700.
What? Did you win the lottery?
The lottery. As Torvald always says, the lottery is for losers. Well, there's no pride in that.
Then where did you? You couldn't have borrowed it.
Why not?
You've no credit? A woman? A housewife? You'd have needed Torvald's consent.
Maybe not.
I know.
Well, maybe I got it some other clever way from another man, perhaps. I can still turn a head or two.
Nora,
What? I can. But that's not how.
tell me, what are you saying? This is crazy. It's wrong.
Crazy to save your husband's life.
Well, improper anyway, without his consent.
He couldn't know. Not even how sick he really was. He's proud. He broke down, Christine. The doctors came to see me. Depressed, they said. Yes, referred to politely as exhaustion. So I begged him to go. Made it my problem, needing to keep up with all the other young girls or being so tired. Raising my girls, female troubles. Works every time. I even hinted that he might take out a loan, and of course that made it worse. And he wouldn't listen. So I told him that Daddy was willing to pay for it, for his beautiful little Nora.
And he still thinks
Of
that.
course, Daddy died shortly thereafter, so it was easy to just let it go.
Why not tell him now?
Now who's crazy? Torvald. Well, it would have upset our domestic equilibrium. I read that in a book.
So, never then?
To the grave. Or maybe someday, many, many, many years from now, when I wrinkle up and start to sag. Or when I can't dance for him anymore and dress up. But who am I kidding? That'll never happen. So,
I don't know.
well, there it is. And now, well, I mean, it's not easy. Have you ever heard of quarterly interest? Even when you borrow outside of the proper channels, the same miserable rules apply. It's almost impossible to meet the payments, but I manage. Saving, scrimping, hiding it all from Torvald. No mean feat. He does manage a bank, after all. Last Christmas was toughest, finding time away from him to juggle it all, and he was very suspicious.
How much have you got left?
I wish I knew exactly. It's close, I think. Oh, I just want it to be over. I dream of some old rich coot falling in love with me from afar and mysteriously leaving me this entire estate in his will, and it's all cash.
Any prospects?
None, unfortunately. Just a silly fantasy, and who cares anyway? All's well now, though. Oh, Helen! With Torvald's promotion, it's only a matter of time, and then free and clear. Free and clear!
I should be on my way.
Oh, not yet, Christine. I'm sure it's for the new bank manager.
Merry Christmas. Mr. Helmer, please.
Mrs. Helmer? Excuse me. There's a man to see Mr. Helmer, but as he's with.
Oh, who is it?
Excuse me, Mrs. Helmer.
Yes, Mr. Helmer is busy.
Yes,
Mr.
Many more responsibilities now, I'm sure. Congratulations are in order, I hear.
You wish to see him?
Yes, just a bit of business with my new boss.
Helen, please show this gentleman into Mr. Helmer's office.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure that by now the good doctor has overstayed his welcome.
Nora, are you okay?
Yes,
Did you know him?
unfortunately, yes.
Me too.
Really?
Well, many years ago, at any rate. He's changed.
Yes. Another unhappy marriage.
The theme of the day.
4 kids, widowed.
Yes, I heard. Among some other things.
Like what?
Well, just gossip. He works at the bank, right?
Have you heard something about the bank?
No, just that he, like many of us, has had some interesting side jobs. Not exactly as, well, as above board as the odd sewing or cleaning, if you know what I mean.
Where is my Nora? And where is that mistletoe? Oh, excuse my Christmas cheer. I seem to have interrupted.
Of course not, Christine. Mrs. Lind, this is the good Dr. Rank.
Ah, Mrs. Lind. I think I've heard your name ring once or twice within these happy walls. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Any friend of Nora Helmer's is a friend of mine.
The pleasure is all mine. Oh, I'm just back in town, looking for a bit of work, actually.
As a man of medicine and a student of life, I'd recommend as little as that to anyone.
We must live, I'm afraid.
Strangely enough, that's what all of my patients say, particularly the terminal ones.
And what to tell them?
That they're right. To hang on to every second. Life can be cruel, disappointing, and tedious, but without it, we can't live.
Forgive him, Christine. He's the happiest dark cloud you'll ever meet.
Or the most miserable ray of sunshine. At least when I'm in your sky, my dear. Aging, my dear, Mrs. Lind is not for cowards. Pain won't kill you. It just slows down the clock. You've no choice but to linger on in pity. Merry Christmas! At least that's what I tell my patients. Speaking of the walking wounded, did you see who's with her?
No.
Who was it?
A very sick man.
Really? Well, he looked all right when Helen brought him through.
All right. Ugh, Krogstad. Well, I suppose it's fair to tell you that you don't know him. Nothing physically wrong with him, I guess, if you forgive the appearance, but gravely ill nonetheless.
What's wrong with him?
Good question. Strictly speaking, it's outside of my purview of my expertise, but if I had to force a diagnosis, I'd call it moral leprosy.
Dr. Rank, you are awful.
True.
Well, what did he want from Torvald?
To quote Mrs. Lind, just to live.
Is that what he said?
Oh, yes. And no. Something like about his position at the bank.
His position?
Yes, I think. In the end, who cares about him? Enough of healing the sick.
But you have to. You're a doctor.
Yes. Well, there you have it. I think they call that a paradox. One I learned to live with long ago.
Well, then I'm sorry for you, doctor.
Oh, don't be. Mrs. Lind, you're young, but you look like you know something of the world. Many years ago, I took an oath to heal. At first, do no harm. After all that, and I ministered, and I relieved, and I healed. And yet, still the cancer spreads. Society, diseased, incurable, and despite the best efforts of so many victims, past hope. What is so funny?
Nothing. Are people like this Krogstad? Well, everybody at the bank, I suppose, is now dependent on Torvald.
He is the new boss. Why?
No reason.
Huh. Feels good to be powerful, doesn't it? See what I mean, Mrs. Lind?
How about a macaroon?
The forbidden fruit?
No, I didn't buy them, and they were a gift from Christine.
Nora,
Well, how could she know that Torvald won't have them in the house? I am so happy. And you know what?
What?
I love these goddamn macaroons.
Krogstad enters, with Helmer following, showing him out the front door.
What? What is going on?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Oh, Torvald, this is my good friend, Christine. Mrs. Lind.
Christine, good friend. So why haven't we met?
Oh, Mrs. Lind has been gone for a while.
Oh, a school friend.
Yes,
Yes.
a long time ago.
Mhm.
Such a surprise. She just showed up like a great big Christmas present.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Christine. But I really must be getting back.
Christine is actually quite an accomplished businesswoman, small businesswoman, and is back in town looking for something.
Yes.
Nora.
Well, you're getting quite a reputation with your promotion, Torvald. The news travels fast, doesn't it, Christine?
Yes, it does.
And certainly there's room for an able-bodied, youngish, talented, and intelligent woman at the bank.
I suppose that I can check the tellers and the secretary.
Oh, actually, Christine is an accomplished with accounts, bookkeeping, aren't you, Christine?
Yes, certified actually. I would be happy to furnish references.
I'm guessing you're widowed, Mrs. Lind.
I am.
Children.
No,
Any bank experience.
very little on either end.
Very well.
Ah, really? Oh, Christine! Torvald!
Come just at the right time, Mrs. Lind.
I can never thank you enough.
You're very welcome. Now, I really must be. I have to run an errand, and I'll need to see those references if you wouldn't mind.
Of course.
Grab my coat while you're at it.
You're back soon, I hope?
Within the hour, got some last-minute shopping to do for a special little girl.
You too, Christine.
Yes, so much more to do.
Torvald.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Lind, may I give you a lift?
No, you've been too kind already.
Nonsense. Torvald is going your way. Whichever way that is.
Downtown, actually, to see about a room. Goodbye, Nora.
Oh, I'd love for you to stay with us, but
Nora.
please come back tonight for some eggnog and a Christmas cheer. Dr. Rank, you, of course.
Oh, I will count the minutes, my dear.
Stay warm. My knight in shining armor.
Hurry up now, we're letting the heat out.
Goodbye, Christine.
Thank you.
Doctor.
Good evening, my dear.
Bye. Oh, girls. Do you know what tomorrow is? Now let's see. We need to find a nice space on the tree so he can see them as soon as he drops in. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is... Helen! Would you... Torvald must have forgot his key.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
I don't think that you were invited in. Mr. Helmer has just left.
Yes, I saw him.
Well, then you'll have to come back another time.
I waited for him to leave
Well, why would you do that?
because I'd like a word with you. If you would be so kind.
Sir?
Helen, no, it's fine. I'll be okay. Well, just be a minute. Why don't you go and make the girls some hot cocoa?
Come on, girls.
And remember to make enough for Santa. What do you want?
As I said, just a few minutes of your
Well, why? It is not the first of the month. It's Christmas Eve.
and how many tomorrow will be entirely up to you.
Excuse me?
I just watched your husband leave with your doctor friend
Yes.
and a woman,
And?
Christine Linda, I believe.
As a matter of fact,
An old friend, is she, Mrs. Elmer?
yes.
Mine too.
So I understand.
She told you. Then I'll come right to the point. Your husband and Miss Linda look, if not exactly friendly, you might say collegial. After my most recent conversation with the new bank
What's your
manager,
point, Mr.
please don't
Krogstad?
judge me again. Thank you. Mrs. Helmer, did Miss Linda ask about the position at the bank?
Yes, Christine. Mrs. Lind was in desperate need of work, so I remarked to Torvald.
You.
Yes, me, Mr. Krogstad. It is possible, you know, that a woman, a wife, can exert a bit of influence over her husband, even a bank manager now and then.
Forget it.
I see you find that,
I've been doing
what would they say in the business world?
All right, no,
A
move on.
dubious proposition.
Not at all, Mrs. Helmer.
I'd be careful, Mr. Krogstad, if I were you.
Careful.
Yes, to offend those who
Yes.
can, well, those
Fine.
who might be able to. Yes,
Sounded wise. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes. Then, before I go, might I beg you for a small favor? Would you be so kind to exert your influence on my behalf?
Mr.
That
Krogstad,
you
I
might
don't.
ask Mr. Helmer to reconsider something.
Well, I'm not sure that he would actually.
Your husband fired me today, Mrs. Helmer.
Oh,
Yes. Merry Christmas. It won't officially take effect until Monday, but after all the intents and purposes,
well, that is very unfortunate, Mr. Krogstad, but Torvald is the bank manager, and I can't really ask him to do something.
your influence only stretches so far.
Well, I'm afraid so.
To your old friends.
Well, that is very different.
Really? Whose job do you think Miss Linda will be filling?
Well, I'm sure that,
And now I know that who to thank for giving the X.
Mr. Krogstad, I had nothing to do with it. I merely put in a word for an old friend.
And now I must ask you to do the same for an old folk.
Well, that's very different. Mr. Helmer is not the kind of man.
Yes, he is. I've known Shaw for a long time. He's capable of listening, especially from his darling wife.
Well, I won't have that tone in my house. Mr. Helmer's house, he is my husband and your employer.
Unfortunately for both of us, not after Monday.
Get out of this house, Mr.
Are you sure
Krogstad.
about that, Mrs. Elmer?
Yes, come the first of the month, you are out of my life, and I'll have the rest of it. Happy New Year, Mr. Krogstad. My husband will be home very soon, Mr. Krogstad.
Then I suggest you join me because I'm not leaving until you do. Good. May I tell you another story?
If you must.
Several years ago, I committed a kind of crime.
What kind of crime?
The kind that in public circles one might call indiscretion. As you know, I don't run in those circles.
I've heard rumors.
This kind of crime never made it before judge, but those circles I spoke of society, if you will found me guilty anyway. With very little in the way of prospect, I turned my talents to business that you and I have shared. To be honest, I feel within the confines of the world I acquainted myself honorably. However, let's just say society doesn't put stock in that. Long story short, my sons are getting older, and my sins will soon be visited upon them. If you take my meaning, I won't have it. They are good, honest boys. They have nothing to deserve the condescensions, the disrespect. For nothing else, for their sake, I will have my dignity back. I've been making my way up, Mrs. Helmer. My job at the bank, however mean, was the first rank on the ladder. And in one moment, your husband has seen fit to kick the whole thing out under from me.
Why tell me? I haven't the
You mean
power to help
you
you.
don't have the will.
No, I'm trying to turn it down.
I think I can help you find it.
You'll tell me my husband, You'll tell my husband about the loan?
What if I did?
Well, so much for your honor. He can't. To find out at all would... Least of all, to find out like this. From you? You are disgusting. You're horrible.
Mrs. Helmer, I'm offering.
Well, go ahead.
Excuse me.
Well, do it, coward. You'll wish you never heard my name. Torvald will see you for what you and... He will see you for what you are, and losing your measly job at the bank will just be the beginning. We'll be fine. Torvald is strong. And sure, it may be difficult at first, but you don't know how strong we are.
Just difficult.
What?
Your only worry is what? A little domestic tiff?
When Torvald finds out, he'll pay the rest himself. You think you and your boys have it bad now. Once this gets out, people will cross the street to avoid you.
You're not listening.
What?
Shall I tell you another story?
I think I've had enough of your stories,
When your
Mr.
husband was,
Krogstad.
when he began having difficulties, you found me, and I loaned you substantial amount of money.
Well, there wasn't anyone else.
I promised I wouldn't secure it.
And you did? I remember,
told him to
Mr. Krogstad.
So, taking into account your state of mind with your husband's infirmity and the two little ones, you can be forgiven for forgetting a couple of minor details. So, if you will indulge me, I would like to remind you of, now I promise to get you the money on security of promissory note which I drafted.
And which I signed.
Yes, so far so good. But there was a line below the signature to the document to protect, as you had no collateral against the possibility of default. Your father then...
Yes, he
and
signed it as well. What's your point, Mr. Krogstad?
The date next to the signature was blank, so that he provided on whatever day he put pen to paper.
And?
You signed it and then you sent it to the father. Am I right?
Yes.
And 6 days later. Sorry, details are so important. You bought me the cosign note. I, in turn, handed you exactly $4,700.
Which I've paid off regularly and on time.
Well, better than most anyway. But my point is, correct me if I'm wrong, your father fell ill around the same time
Yes.
and died rather suddenly.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So much in such a short time. The end of September, was it?
The 29th.
Yes, I looked that up. You know, and please forgive me for going on, but here's the thing, I can't understand something that you may be able to help me with.
Is this some kind of sick game, Krogstad?
No, Mrs. Elmer, I wouldn't do that. You see, what I can't figure out is how on earth and heaven or hell for that matter, your father could sign a document 3 years after his death, the 29th of September.
Stop it, Krogstad.
I have the obituary here. But here, he dated October 2nd. What do you think, Mrs. Elmer?
I don't know how. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how.
Interesting that as well as the word October 2nd and the date year are not in the same handwriting as the signature.
Please
But
put that
nonetheless,
down.
Of course. I mean, this may have a completely reasonable explanation. Your father forgot in his weakness to date it, and someone else might have put it there. So in distress with all that was going on, perfectly understandable. As long as the actual signature is legitimate, of course. And you would stand to that, I assume, Mrs. Elmer. Your father signed this in his own hand.
No, he didn't.
You realize what you're admitting to.
What does it matter? You will have your money, and I will be free and clear before any of this comes to light.
Why not just send it to him?
What?
I mean, why take such a risk?
He was dying. He wouldn't have signed it without knowing what. And I could not tell him about Torvald. It was, well, certain things you just are impossible.
Then you could have given him your trip.
And Torvald was as bad off as my poor father. But unlike him, my husband had a chance. I could do something about it. I saved him.
Even if it meant committing a crime.
Well, I'd call it an indiscretion.
A court of law would disagree.
Well, and you would know, I
Not
suppose.
quite. Never made it that far. I was a good lawyer, but my crime was no more nor less than your indiscretion.
Well, how dare you drag me into this, into your sty? I saved my husband's life.
Mrs. Helmer, Lady Justice is not only blind but righteously unsentimental.
Well, then there is no justice. I did what I did to protect my family.
Idols are not evidence, Mrs. Helmer. This note, however, is...
Oh, well, very impressive. Are you proud of yourself? Torvald was right. To be a good lawyer, you must be a terrible human being.
Yes. Well, I've said my piece. Don't worry, I'll show myself out. I think that's your husband pulling up. You two have a lot to talk about.
Krogstad, please.
I hope to hear from you soon, Mrs. Helmer. In case you forget, take my card. Good evening.
You're home? That was fast.
Exactly what I wanted.
Oh, Torvald.
I wrapped in my snow.
Oh, I promise.
And what'd you get up to while I was gone?
Oh, nothing.
The most surprise visitor. It's been a full house all day.
No.
I could have sworn I saw Mr. Krogstad from the bank, well, formerly from the bank. The man who was by earlier. Thought of someone on the side door when I was pulling in.
Oh, yes. He came back.
And what did he want?
Oh, nothing. Well, he said that he had forgot a pen or something.
Nora,
What?
are you lying to me?
No.
Nora,
Well, fibbing. Maybe.
my darling, enough. I know why he came back. He's a trouble man. He must have waited until he knew I was gone. And Nora, I had to let him go from the bank today.
Torvald.
Let me finish, please. And it's not official yet. Until Monday, I would have waited to tell him, but there must be consequences for barging into my house like some criminal. And I'm assuming, desperate as he is, he came to plead with you, to intervene on his behalf.
He did.
And he probably whined a bit and asked you.
Well,
been here. He's a mess. A failure, Nora, his entire life. It's just pathetic. We went to high school together, my darling. You're just so naive. And I suppose it adds to your many charms, but you can't be so gullible as to let a man like that make you lie to me. I trust you.
Lie?
Nora. You call it a fib, but it's dangerous, Nora. We can't have it in this house. Leads to bigger untruth, lies. And it's a bad example for the girls.
Torvald.
I know you didn't mean anything by it. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt this time. But my little chipmunk, never, ever, ever, ever lie to me again. Yes? Now, I've got a few things to catch up on. I'll be in the office. It's a little warm in here. Have Helen call me when the dinner's ready.
Torvald.
Yes. What is it?
I can't wait for Boxing Day. The dress-up party at the Stensons the day after tomorrow.
Right. Oh, yes. Me too. What is Boxing Day anyway?
You ask me that every year. An old British thing. I think his family is from there. The day after Christmas is a traditional holiday for the servants.
The servants?
Well, yes, because they couldn't enjoy Christmas themselves, as they had to serve.
Right.
Well, it's why we always give it to Helenoff.
What are you wearing?
I told you, it's a surprise.
Make sure something's dancing.
It will be.
Not like that silly clown outfit from last year.
That was 2 years ago.
Whatever it was absurd. It looked like the drunk we had juggling and doing tricks at Emmy's birthday party.
Are you busy, Torvald?
I just told you I've got some things to catch up on, bank business, and
Can I help?
Nora, Nora, I actually wish you could. It's the worst part of the job. Layoffs, staff restructuring, clearing the dead wood,
And Krogstad.
the deadest.
I see. But Torvald,
What is it?
feed your little chipmunk's curiosity.
All right.
That awful Krogstad, I've heard so much gossip, and he kind of alluded to it when he was here. What did he do that was so bad?
Forging signatures.
Really?
You're expecting something else.
Well, the way that everyone acts, you would have thought that he ran down a nun.
Nora,
Well, it may be technically wrong, but you say he was always desperate. Well, maybe his family was in need.
it's possible. That would certainly mitigate circumstances, make them understandable, even forgivable, I guess, some level.
Of course they would.
If there was a confession, I suppose remorse, some graceful acceptance of punishment.
Punishment?
You see, Krongstad never owned up. He's not entirely without merit as a lawyer, and so found his way out on a cheap technicality.
Well, maybe since then he has tried to.
He had his chance. And since then, his life has just been a lie, hiding his crimes in plain sight, a walking fraud. And imagine his poor children.
Yes.
They inherit that. The lies, you can't call it a home, nor it's more like a zoo.
Torvald.
What?
Well, that's very unkind.
Nora, my darling, you haven't been in court like I have. The dregs of humanity, every criminal I came across was raised in corruption, deceit. Rongstad's lies have been warping his children. Their lives are over before they even started. Rongstad he's weak. He's a hypocrite. It's disgusting. Enough of him, Nora. I hope you understand why I let him go. Now, I want to get as much of this done before dinner as possible.
Yes, so much to do.
Come here.
What?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Act 2, the same room. It is Christmas Day, early in the evening. Remnants of torn open gifts. Nora and Helen enter, carrying a box.
Look at this mess. It looked so beautiful before. Thanks so much, Helen. Just leave it there.
Do you remember this? Miss Helmer. Guess what? I found the dress. It just won't work.
Well, I'd like to take the scissors to it myself and cut it up for rags.
Nonsense. I bet it still fits like a glove.
Yes, well, I suppose Christine will take care of it for me.
What? You don't trust me?
Oh, Helen, you've got enough to do as it is.
Kids, you should just wrap the empty boxes. They seem to enjoy the paper more than the gift. What's the matter, Nora?
You know, Christmas. After the girls and dinner, it's a little depressing, I guess. Another 365 days. Even as a little girl, I'd wake up the next day and I'd be so upset. I'd be crying right through to New Year's.
I remember. They sound like they're doing just fine.
Yes, they are.
Breaking all their presents. Well, I'll go check on them. Are you coming?
No. Helen, could I ask you something?
Of course.
I've wondered sometimes. Forgive me if this is too personal.
How long have we known each other, my dear?
A long time.
A lifetime. So go ahead, ask me anything you want.
All those years ago, how did you do it?
What?
Well, how did you give your daughter up to strangers? I know that you were just a girl yourself. I just...
I had one thing in life, a job, taking care of you. I was a girl in trouble, Nora. Do you know what that means? Especially then.
But she was your little girl and you were her mother.
She had no father. Well, he wouldn't own up to it. He left me and I had no family here, which was probably a blessing. She was a mistake of youth. Beautiful thing, Nora. I only saw her briefly, actually held her for a moment. That poor nun never heard the end of it for letting me. But how did you know?
My mother, I guess, long ago.
Oh. No, not that. I never told anybody it was a girl. I wasn't even supposed to know.
Well, I just guessed. You're so good with Emmy and Tess, and when I see them, I think how lucky they are to have you. It makes me feel inadequate, unfit.
Nora.
And you were the only mother I really ever had.
And I'd never give you up to anybody. I wouldn't even let Mr. Helmer take you from me.
Mama!
Hear that? They love you very much.
They love their presents very much.
Well, them too.
Stop it!
Oh, Jesus.
Girls! Helen, could you?
Of course. Now, there'll be no crying until New Year's from you. I've got enough to deal with. Why don't you try on that dress? You can't be the belle of the ball if you just sit around and mope.
I'll get it, Helen. Oh, Christine, thank God. You didn't see anyone else on your way here coming this way? I mean, towards the house?
No, are you expecting someone else?
No, I'm so sorry. Merry Christmas, Christine.
Merry Christmas. So I brought the needle and thread. Let's see where? Lost my scissors.
Oh, I'll get you mine. The Stensons next door have this fancy dress, costume, Boxing Day party tomorrow, and I was going to surprise Thorvald with something new, but he decided he wanted me to go as an Italian peasant girl. He loves my tarantella.
Your tarantella?
Yes, you know, the spider dance. Very sexy. I learned it in Naples on our honeymoon, and he just loves it. And well, it's been a while. And he really loves it.
I get it.
Not my favorite, but it makes him happy. It used to anyway. I got the dress there almost 10 years ago now, so it is a bit delicate.
No problem. I'll doll it up for you. Just find me those scissors.
Thank you so much. You were always so much more creative than me.
This is very pretty. I'll have to come by and see you all done up. Oh, and thank you again for everything yesterday. It was wonderful. Christmas come early.
Yes.
That Dr. Rank is something else.
Yes, he is.
Somehow charming and depressing in the same breath.
Yesterday, he was even worse, or better than usual. He's complicated.
Acted like we were long-lost friends.
Yes, well, he's very warm.
Torvald looked right through me.
Oh, well, with Torvald, certain things just don't come up. He's easily jealous, possessive, wants me all to himself. The doctor I can confide in. He's our best friend.
Your best friend?
Oh, between you and me and the wall, Christine. He's very sick. Something since childhood. No fault of his own, mind you, congenital. Well, his father was, how to put this kindly, Dr. Rank would diagnose him with moral leprosy. Passed his weaknesses along, and sins of the father and all of that. Syphilis. It's in his spine.
That's awful. He's dying?
He says he is, but you can never really tell how serious. I hope not.
No family?
Oh, well, he's not the marrying kind. He loves himself too much, or should I say loves to hate himself too much.
Is he very successful?
Certainly. He's been practicing for 30 years.
He's here a lot.
Every day.
Nora, you need to be very careful.
Well, what do you mean?
Yesterday, you mentioned dreaming of a rich older man that out of nowhere might will you the world.
But that's a fantasy. Like winning the stupid lottery. Well, everyone... Oh, Christine, you can't believe...
2 and 2 is 4, Nora.
Well, yes, but
No
this is
family? A wealthy, dying bachelor?
Christine,
He comes courting every day?
Courting?
Come on, Nora. It's obvious he's in love with you. He lent you the money for Torvald.
Are you out of your mind? He's my friend. Oh, sometimes I think the only real one that I have, that I've ever had, it was not him.
I'm sorry, Nora.
Set your mind at ease, Christine. Well, he may be a terrible flirt, but he's my best friend. He's done all right for himself, but he's never had that kind of money.
I'm sorry if I jumped to...
Maybe I should. Maybe I should tell him, though.
Tell him what?
Well, I have to end it with the other one. And the good doctor is just the kind of man who can make that happen.
Make what happen, Nora?
Oh, give me that note back and throw it in the fireplace.
You mean from the loan?
Yes.
Is that possible?
But Dr. Rank could make it so better than anyone could anyway. I can barely talk. Between men, they speak a different language, Christine. Shh, it's Torvald. Do me a favor, Christine. Take this to Helen and she can help you. Oh, say hi to the girls.
Nora.
Please, Christine.
Fine, but I'm not leaving until we finish this.
Look at this. The work never ends. Forgot to empty the box from last night.
Anything for me?
No, just a package of stuff sent from the bank. Some holiday end of the year accounts. Helen! Thank God I put a lock on that mailbox. Who was it, by the way?
Christine. She's getting my costume ready.
My brilliant idea.
I thought that my idea was pretty good, too, you know.
Sure, but not as good as mine. Remember who's the boss around here. Helen, get the messenger service, please. I'll leave you to it. I'm still behind.
On Christmas.
Never ends.
Torvald.
Yes.
What would you say if your little Italian peasant girl were to beg you for something very, very little?
What is it?
Would you?
Maybe, if you tell me what it is.
Well, even if I promised to dance for you, the tarantella, or whatever you wanted.
It's very tempting. What do you want, Nora?
Oh. Torvald.
Why this beating around the bush?
I just don't understand why you won't do it. Well, it's Christmas after all, and this would be an act of kindness, of charity.
Kronstadt.
Yes, Torvald.
What's wrong with you?
It's an entry-level position.
Yes, and it's been filled by your friend Nora. I did that for you.
Yes, and I'm so grateful, but does Krogstad have to lose his job to bring Christine on?
Would you rather that I fire someone else?
No. Well, yes, actually.
Nora,
But what? I mean, if there's someone else, then who deserves it?
none more than Kronstadt, believe me.
Well, yes, but what if
No,
he would
No,
consider?
no, no. This is unbelievable. You make this leech a promise out of weakness, and I'm expected to.
No, he'll attack you. He could say things, lies, and go after the family, your reputation.
I am not your father, Nora.
What does that mean?
I understand your fear from when your father had his, let's call a spade a spade. It was a scandal, Nora. He was exonerated in the end with my help, but if I'm to be honest, his reputation was beyond reproach. Mine is.
But what about me and the children? If he goes after you,
Everyone
what
on the
about-
board knows that Kronstadt was already on that list long before he came in here begging to you. Even if I was supposed to indulge you, which I'm not, there's no way I could go back on my word and expect to hold on to any of the bank's confidence.
You don't know that.
Nora, stop it. You can't always get your way. What, I should debase myself in front of my staff? Tell the board I'm not taking directives from my wife. Grow up, Nora. People have to take responsibility for their mistakes. Kronstadt leaves a wreck behind him wherever he goes. Believe me, I've known him since high school, which he never lets me forget, by the way. At the bank, he calls me by my first name. He works for me. We are not equals. And now he wants to leave that wreck here in my home, and I won't have it. Not for you, not for anybody.
I'm sorry.
Do you understand me, Nora?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
I don't ever want to talk about this again.
Okay.
I mean it.
I hear you,
What, is this unpleasant?
Torvald.
Am I being unfair? Good. Because I don't care for your tone, Nora.
Torvald, I understand. I'm just asking that this once you make an exception.
Enough of this! Perfect timing. Helen!
What are you doing?
Ending it. Helen!
Mr. Helmer, the messenger is here.
Good. Here it is. Give these to him and tell him that this one is high priority. The address is on it.
Of course.
And there we have it.
Torvald, what was it?
It was Kronstadt's letter of termination. I would have waited until business opened on Monday, but I have to ruin my Christmas to keep the rest of the weekend from being an endless parade of whining about a man I should never have to think about again.
You don't know what you're doing. He'll destroy us. Why don't you wake the hell up and listen for
Excuse
once?
me? Nora, I'm going to pretend that this whole little outburst never happened. I know that your naivete doesn't lessen your love and devotion for me. This is our nest, Nora. My little songbird, and you have to let me protect you and the children. That's my burden, that's not yours. It's a scary world out there. You have no idea. You let an enemy into the nest, Nora. I did what I did to prevent him from destroying it because I love you. I don't expect you to thank me for it. I know when you thought it all through, you will. Now, why don't you just get your tambourine and your dress and rehearse for your big night? I'm going to get a head start on this.
Merry Christmas, Helen, and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Doctor.
Nora! Oh, what is it, my dear? Too much turkey? Am I interrupting a post-prandial snooze?
What? Oh, you know. Christmas
How are the little ones?
ran me ragged, as you can see.
Well, I won't bother you then. I promise to share a brandy with Helmer.
No. Well, Sid, I'm never too tired for you.
Oh, I wish I could say the same.
Well, what do you mean?
That I'm never too tired for me.
What? You look like you're just getting started.
The last burst of energy before the home stretch, my dear.
What does that mean?
Nora, I'm afraid the end game has begun, my dear.
What happened?
Physician, heal thyself. Except I've stopped looking for a cure.
What do you mean?
The diagnosis is complete. Just need to get the timing down. At this late date, I must be past surprise. No self-deception. Eyes wide open, clear, ready. Bye.
Dr. Rank.
One request. If you'd be so kind. Keep Torvald away once I retreat from view. It's gonna be quick and ugly. He doesn't have the stomach poor thing. Despite outward appearances.
Are you certain?
When it's time, Nora, I'll let you know.
How?
I don't know. Oh, in the medieval ages, they used to paint a black cross for those that wanted to go pick up the dead bodies that were dead from the plague. So they would know where the corpses were.
Stop.
See me for a
It
couple-
is not funny, Mr. Morbid. You're like the boy who cried wolf.
Was his father a degenerate too? Is that why he kept lying?
It's not funny. I'm not listening.
It's hilarious. I've discovered a medical anomaly.
What?
My funny bone is located in my spine. When the pain of my father's youthful indiscretion shoots down my back, I cackle like a demented hyena.
Youthful indiscretions.
Yes.
Too much ice cream and goose liver paint.
Ah, truffles with bacon grease.
And oysters and creme brulee.
A bottle of wine for dinner and champagne for breakfast.
Oh, they get you every time.
You and the unlucky vertebrae of your next of kin. Those poor bastards had to settle for the most terrible of inheritances. All of the pain and none of the pleasure.
Very sad.
What?
What?
You laughed.
You did.
The pleasure of a double entendre.
I guess I'm in a bit of a mood today.
Ugh, aren't we all?
Well, look, doctor. Let's be serious.
Stop it.
Seriously, I'm not letting you go anywhere.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. You don't know how much I... But you would get over it. You've got time yet.
No, I'll never get over it.
You will. The dead fade quickly once they nail down the coffin. Move on. There's no other choice. You already have.
What?
I've been replaced just in these last 2 days. Your friend, Mrs.
Don't tell me you're jealous.
Without question. He has usurped me.
Shh. In the next room.
What did I tell you? Oh.
She's sewing my dress. I don't remember you ever turning your hand to that.
Oh, no. I just admired it once you put it on.
Oh, speaking of which, I've got something in store for you and Torvald tomorrow night. Look at this. No, wait, close your eyes. Voila.
Oh, very nice.
Aren't they? You wait till tomorrow night.
Ooh.
Ooh, you're horrible. Well, so am I. You're a bad boy. Don't make me punish you.
Oh, do.
Ooh.
Having that box.
Well, that's terrible. That is the naughtiest thing I've ever heard.
Uh,
Well, that improved my mood.
Thank you.
For what?
I can't imagine my life without you and what my life would have been like in this past year without this house, you, Orvald.
Oh, I can't imagine it without you. Thank you.
Pardon you, such sweet. Well, there's nothing sweet about it. It's just hello.
Well, I thought we were quite done with that part of our evening.
I am a sick man, Nora. Indulge me.
Anything you want.
I'm a man of simple needs. I look ahead, realizing I soon won't be able to look back. So I'm doing a bit of that lately and I'm just not pleased with what I'm leaving behind.
Well, don't be silly.
No children, no great discoveries, no lasting works of any kind. Sure, a fond memory or two, but no monuments to my existence. Except regret, of course.
Well, for what?
Not leaving it off better than where I found it, or I found me.
You still could, you know.
What?
Well, do something. For the world, for a friend. Maybe.
Nothing would make me happier.
You don't even know what it is.
It's enough to know who it's for.
You're too kind. No, it's too much.
Let me be the judge of that.
You sure?
Of course.
Best friends?
Best friends.
Well, more than anyone, you understand how much Torvald loves me.
True words have never been spoken. Nora,
What's the matter?
I need you to understand just
Well,
how
a
much
simple yes would have sufficed.
I'm dead, Nora.
No, you're not.
I no longer see the point.
What point?
It's a facade.
What are you talking about?
This flirtation, my visits, this little pas de deux we did.
Dr. Rank!
I know we're not on equal footing and equal measures of the beam, but we have to pretend.
Please stop this,
now.
Dr. Rank.
Nora,
Excuse me, please. Helen!
please.
Well, this is horribly unfair of you.
To be in love with you.
Why did you feel the need to tell me?
Would you ever have admitted it to yourself?
Well, what does it matter? Just because something is true, does it have to be proclaimed? Well, why can't the truth just shut the hell up? No, it has to scream at the top of its lungs and tear everything to hell.
Nora.
A facade, you called it. What's wrong with that? It was fun and free and not anymore. What you just admitted can't be unsaid. It changes nothing for you. But where does it leave me? Do you think of that? We all need deniability, doctor, and you can sit up on your high horse and sneer at self-deception, but some of us need it desperately just to get through the goddamn day. I'm sorry. Well, that was...
Please tell Helmer I said Merry Christmas. I'm
Doctor,
sorry to run
please.
out, but I wasn't feeling well.
Doctor,
Yes,
will I see you tomorrow?
it can't be unsaid, Nora.
No, but I am pretty good at misremembering. I better be anyway. What did my father teach me? Husbands are easy, Nora. You'll have your pick of the litter, but a best friend? Well, they have to pick you.
I lied earlier
When?
when I said truer words had never been spoken. So,
Doctor, why don't you go see Helmer? He's been looking forward to a Christmas brandy all day.
thank you, my dear.
Oh. Merry Christmas.
The merriest.
Mrs. Helmer, That gentleman is at the back door.
Bring him in, Helen. Oh, doctor, please keep Torvald occupied. Tell him I'm getting changed into my costume and I'll call you when I'm ready.
Anything. Torvald, look what Santa brought.
Mrs. Helmer,
Keep your voice down.
I want you to explain something.
What?
Do you know what this is?
I tried.
Then you didn't try hard enough.
I did what I could.
And what will you do now?
What do you want, Krogstad?
I'm hoping to ease your mind.
Really?
My compassion surprises you.
No. I just wish that you would show some for my children.
Have you and the bank manager showed any for mine? I want you to know that I'm not planning on denouncing on you.
And?
I have no doubt that the three of us can work this out. No one needs to know anything.
Torvald will never find this out.
You want to pay the rest up now?
No, I can't.
It wouldn't matter. I'm not letting go of that note.
What are you going to do with it?
Keep it. So, if you're thinking of doing anything rash,
Oh, I've been thinking. I've been thinking.
of running away,
Something far worse, something
don't.
Why not?
I tried.
And?
As you see, I've written a letter for your husband,
Everything?
as delicately as possible.
I'll get that. I'll get the money.
Have you been not listening?
Not what I owe you. How much do you want from Torvald?
Blackmail? No. You got a dark mind, Mrs. Helmer.
Well, then what do you want?
Redemption. I need help. Your husband's help. For 18 months, I've done nothing to dirty the waters. I may not look it, but aside from our business, I've got nothing outstanding. I've been working 2 jobs, seeing to my boys alone. I've been enjoying it, working my way up legitimately. I was proud of my work at bank, but you didn't understand that. I earned that, but that doesn't matter to people like your husband. To him, I'm in peril, and he can't accept that. They suffer and they change, and all they ask is to be seen, just acknowledged for the hard work. I accept my punishment. Been staring at my shoes for 15 years, but the judge has already made up his mind, and redemption is impossible. So the deck is fixed forever, and that makes me very angry. But I've got to accept it and deal with it. And believe me, I will. Now I won't be satisfied being bought on the bottom rung. I've earned something, and I'm going to get it.
You don't know him, Krogstad.
I do. He'll give it to me, I'll take it from him. And make no mistake, in fair game with unmarked cards, Torvald Helmer will be working for me. Should I leave this here or drop it in the mailbox on my way out?
I will do whatever it takes to protect my family.
Whatever it takes. It's harder than it sounds.
Don't you dare underestimate me.
What are you going to do? Walk out on the thin ice? Wait for the cracks to web about you? One leg goes first than the other. Heart racing. Lucky if it stops before you're all the way in it. But it won't. Then come March or April, some little boy with his first fishing rod pulls his hook out of your eye. After the boat has floated to the surface. And
Telling
then
campfire stories now, Krogstad. Save it for your boys.
No, just the truth. Only the bravest do such things, and you and I don't have what it takes. And even if you could, your reputation, dead or alive, is in my hands, Mrs. Helmer. Your husband can't escape that. He has forced me to do this, and I will never, ever forgive him for that. Goodbye, Mrs. Helmer. Take care of yourself.
No, Krogstad, no! Christine!
What's the matter? Are you all right?
Shh. Come here. Look, see that letter through the glass on the front of the box?
Yes, but there's no mail today.
No, Krogstad just dropped something.
He lent you the money?
Yes.
And that letter is for Torvald. I think it's for the best.
Christine, I broke the law. I forged a name to get that money.
What?
And there, you can stand as my witness while I still have my wits about me.
witness.
I don't think my nerves can handle it. So if anything out of the ordinary happens, and if you can't find me, or if Torvald asks, promise me, you'll tell them that I am still in my right mind and I did it everything. Nora Helmer is responsible.
What are you talking about?
Maybe something glorious.
Nora, listen to me. I'll go to
It
Krogstad.
won't work.
He would have done anything for me once.
Well, that was a long time ago.
It's all we've got. Where can I find him?
I don't know. Yes, wait. Here.
Nora.
Yes. What is it?
Are you ready?
Not just yet, Torvald. 1 minute. What about the letter in the box?
You don't have a key?
Of course not.
Nora.
Just a minute. I'm trying to make it look just as you remember it.
Krogstad will have to get it back. Nora, whatever you do, don't let Torvald get that letter tonight.
Wait, but
Whatever you have to do.
You can come in, gentlemen.
About time, my darling. Nora.
What?
So we're going to meet a beautiful Italian peasant girl.
I decided to make you both of you wait until tomorrow.
Oh, how disappointing.
No sneak peeks. It will ruin the main event.
By tomorrow morning, the anticipation may have killed me.
You look tired. How's the practicing?
Oh, no. I haven't yet.
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be ready for the performance of a lifetime. But I think I'm going to need your expertise, my darling. You know I can't do it without you.
Aw.
Of course, my little chipmunk, but you're tired. It's been a long day, holiday or not. I've got piles of work to do. How about first thing in the morning?
Well, if there's no dancing, I'm going home.
Must you?
Well, here you go, doctor.
I must. And thank you. Merry Christmas, Torvald.
Merry Chris. Oh,
What?
must have missed this when I went back for the bank package.
What's that?
Nothing. It's just another letter in the box. I'll walk you out and grab it.
Wait, doctor, it's Christmas.
It is.
Well, I think I'm getting a second wind. Oh, if I dance, will you stay?
Wild horse is gonna drag me away.
Oh, work can wait until tomorrow.
Is there a tarantella involved?
There is.
How could I refuse?
Oh, will you start the song Maestro and put me through my paces?
Better like that. Doctor,
Yes.
a couple more brandies are in order.
Excellent.
My little Italian peasant girl.
Sì, mi amore.
Slow down. Oh, that's better. Feel the rhythm. Calm down, Nora.
Like this? Ah,
No. No. You're not listening to me or to the music. Not again.
I am trying.
Ready.
Yes.
Good girl, Nora. That's it. Excellent. Just like in Naples. Faster. Just not too fast, Nora.
Bravo. Bravo. Well, I liked it.
Well, you can't let yourself get so carried away. You forgot the technique.
Oh, sì, signore, scusi.
You're gonna lock me.
Yes, we do. Nothing but practice, practice, practice.
I believe it.
Well, then no work, darling. You don't want me to embarrass you at the Stensons.
Oh, I won't let that happen.
So you promise no work for 24 hours?
You know, if I didn't know any better, I think you were trying to distract me.
Indeed, I am.
Where's the letter from?
What letter?
The one waiting for me in the box.
How should I know?
If it's from him.
Well, yes.
Come on, Torvald. It's still Christmas.
All right. I'll work. How can I say no to my little dancing girl?
Your little Italian peasant girl.
Tomorrow, the party. I'm going to have a lot of catching up to do. And no distractions, no matter who the letter's from. Let me deal with it. Promise?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Helen!
What are you doing?
Well, the good doctor's right. It is still Christmas, and we haven't had a proper dose.
Mr. Helmer?
Bring us a bottle of champagne, please.
Of course.
You'll join us too, Helen.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Helen,
Yes, ma'am.
that new box of macaroons.
Why not?
Christine.
Frank, how about we go break in these new dark cabanas to get the party started with class and let these little ladies get the place ready?
I like the way you think.
Close the door behind you and open a window. And
Not there.
I figured.
Out of town, back tomorrow night. I left a note.
Why even bother? I just wish that.
But Nora, what are you afraid of?
Something wonderful, I suppose. Oh, thanks, Helen. Let me do it. What shall we toast? Christmas?
Old friends.
Emmy and Tess.
Nora?
To 24 hours. To 24 hours.
Act 3. The same room. Late the next evening. Mrs. Lind is sitting alone, waiting, her knitting by her side. She is unable to do anything. We hear music from the party next door. Then Krogstad enters.
Christine,
Come in. I'm alone.
so
You got the note.
obviously,
Will you sit?
no. Still dancing next door?
Yes.
What do you want, Christine?
To apologize for what it's worth.
For what it's worth, look at me. This is what it's worth. Surprised? What do you think? All these years later to see what you started?
Listen, you couldn't have understood at the time what was going on with everything.
Perfectly. I know how auctions work. The prize goes to the highest bidder, and
Do you think it was easy for me?
as a matter of fact, I do. Dear Nils, I have no feeling for you now, nor have for some time. I wish you all the best. Please do not reply. I'm moving forward immediately and leaving no forwarding interest. Sincerely, Christine.
I had to.
Sincerely. Nice touch.
I wanted you angry. If you hated me, you'd get over it. You wouldn't linger.
Yet, here I am.
I was taking care of a sick mother, 2 younger brothers. You were barely providing for yourself. How were we going to marry?
In
Love
that
isn't
case,
enough.
you'd like to rip me apart.
Right had nothing to do with it.
The jury at it again.
Listen, we need to
15
start.
years, I'm digging myself out of this tunnel. Half the time in the wrong direction. Finally, just when I'm past hope, there's a glimmer of light. And
Niels,
you're the oncoming train.
I had no idea I was replacing you at the bank.
Really?
You need to trust me.
Trust you? Honest.
How?
Refuse the position. Can't be my job back.
No,
Goodbye.
you can't win, Niels.
What?
You're playing by their rules, and it's destroying you. We can change it. I'm in that tunnel with you.
What goes around will always.
I had no choice then, but you do now. What if was a way someone could help you dig your way out?
What do you want?
You.
Please. Fool me once, shame on me.
Who do you think brought me back?
You want me to believe that?
However I hurt you, I've paid for it. It's been unrelenting, day after day. My mother, my brothers, him. But now there's just me, empty, alone. I want one thing, something, someone to work for.
And to keep playing the matron.
No. Once I gave up the man I loved for the sake of others. I won't say I wished I'd done it differently. I did what I did because it was the only thing to do. Here I am now begging for another choice. It's the most selfish thing I've ever done.
Christine, look at me.
I am.
Really look. You know what they think of me.
I know.
You see your future in this. I was a good lawyer, Christine. For Christ's sake, I can't even make it as a bank clerk. For boys, I can barely look in the eyes.
I'm a good mother, Niels. Never had my own, but raised my brothers all alone. Your children need someone.
They're right, you know?
Who?
Frank, Halmer, all of them.
Please.
This isn't self-pity. It's the truth. I'm a failure.
Join the club. Hello, my name is Christine, and I've hit rock bottom. I mean, how much further can we fall?
Well, when you put it that way.
What are their names?
Who?
Boys.
There's Kurt,
Junior?
no, and the third actually.
Oh, right, after your father.
Yes. And Kurt, Mark, and baby Roberts.
They're lovely. I'd like to meet them. We can do this.
I don't know.
Who does? I don't care what they think.
I wish I could say the same.
I could try to show you how.
I think I'd like that.
Me too. They'll be coming home soon.
I'll go then. But Christine, the mailbox,
I know.
you do.
Yes.
And still you want to.
Yes, I do.
I could take it back.
Helmer has the only key.
I can break it.
No,
Why not?
because they're killing each other. It has to come out, all of it. Shh, that's them. Hurry.
There's one more thing I have to do. I'll wait for you. Christine,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Niels.
Hey! Oh, pretty, please. Let's go back.
How much have you had to drink?
Not as much as you.
We agreed on 10:30. Right, it lasted that long. They're unbearable. We'll both catch pneumonia.
Have fun.
Christine.
Surprise, it's a bit late, Mrs. Lind.
Oh, forgive me. After slaving away on that dress, I had to see how beautiful you were.
Of course. What do you think, Mrs. Lind? Belle the ball.
You look fantastic.
Then you had a red-blooded man in that room, and she loved it. I'd have practically drive her out of there. Tarantella will be the talk of the town for months. Though, to my taste, it was a bit much, darling.
How?
Too real. So you know what I mean. Stop smiling. When you don't smile, it makes people nervous. If it's too serious, it's no fun, but anxious applause at the end, calls of encore, like they were watching Carmen, for Christ's sake. Always leave them wanting more. But Nora doesn't understand this. So I had to drag her out of there. What an exit. A curtain call I'll never forget. One last turn around the room, quick wrap of the shawl trailing elegantly off her neck as it whirled out from the front steps. Slam of the door, muffling the ecstasy of the awe-struck audience in her wake. You're spoiling it here. Helen!
I'm sure she's sleeping, Torvald. This is technically her day off.
Yes, that Boxing Day nonsense. I guess I'll play the little maid. Refreshments, anybody?
No, thank you.
I will, thank you, with ice.
At your service.
Did he come?
Yes.
And?
There's no way around it, Nora.
I thought so.
I promise you have nothing to fear anymore from Niels Krogstad, but you have to tell him, Nora.
No, I don't.
He'll read the letter, Nora.
Yes, he will. Thank you, Christine.
Oh, isn't this sweet?
Well, good night then.
Yes, it's nice to see you, and see you on the bank Monday.
What? Yes, of course. Thank you.
Is this your knitting?
Oh, thanks. I would have forgotten it.
Should embroider.
Really? Why is that?
Far more elegant. Left hand on the embroidery itself, right hand with the grand sweeping motions. It's like a conductor. It's classy. Knitting's all arms close up, sharp back and forth with the hands. It's unflattering, you know. Kind of Chinesey, like chopsticks for one of those, what do you call them? Little bugs, praying mantis. God, those whiskey sours are quite nice.
Thank you for the advice.
Don't mention it.
Good night, Nora. I wish I had seen that exit.
It was something else.
Good night, Mr. Helmer.
And a good night to you, Mrs. Lind.
Should we call you a cab?
No, thanks. I have someone waiting. Good night.
Good night. Jesus Christ. Boring. I thought we'd never get rid of her.
Torvald,
Hmm?
are you tired?
No. The opposite. Getting out of there gave me a second wind. You?
I'm a little sleepy.
I've made it much longer. I know my Nora's bedtime.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Frank was having a ball tonight. Never seen him that limber.
Was he still there when we left?
He was leading the charge.
Uh,
Let's hope he won't stumble over here when the Stetsons kick everyone out. Little chipmunk all over myself.
Stop it, Torvald. Stop it, I said.
What's the matter?
Not tonight, Torvald.
What's my little chicky wiki upset about?
Stop talking to me like that.
Tarantella, got your blood up? I like that. And that costume. That's the best idea I've had in a while. Watching you thrill that room, all those eyes on you. Knowing that I'd be the one escorting that beautiful, exotic peasant girl home. Why do you think I had to get you out of there? Couldn't take it anymore. Come here.
No, Torvald, get away from me, please.
Excuse me? What's the matter?
Oh,
Jesus. Who is it?
Who else?
Spoke too soon. Doctor. Should I say count?
I'm Mr. Elmer. I thought I would. I heard your lights on, and I thought I'd come by and say bravo once more.
thank you.
I'm surprised you're standing.
Me too. But when the company is good and the wine is free.
Or the whiskey sours.
Oh, the ladies are right, Torvald. Don't be throwing.
I can handle my liquor.
Then who knocked all the poinsettias off all the steps?
Oh,
Yes, indeed.
how is the diagnosis coming along, doctor?
Diagnosis.
A particularly difficult case I was talking to Nora about the other day.
Really?
Hmm.
Dr. Rank calling Nurse Nora home, or Dr. Rank calling...
I got the results I've been waiting for.
Good news?
The news, Nora. No wiggle room left. Always best for doctor and patient. A positive certainty. You know how to proceed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What? Who is it? It's someone we know.
Oh, sorry, Torvald, that's confidential information. But a trying day leads to a night to remember.
Well, tomorrow will be a morning to forget.
Nothing's free in life. The bill comes sooner or later.
Well, Count,
Yes, my little peasant girl.
what are we going to wear next year?
Oh, I've got it. You can be the good fairy.
Oh, great. And we'll have, what's her name, over here all next fall, sewing wings.
Oh, she won't need them. She can go as is.
Sweet. Dirty old man. What are you going to be?
The best costume ever invented.
Come on.
The Invisible Man!
Yes, I'd like to see that.
But you won't. That's the point. Nora, I only knocked to see if you'd fork over one of those dark Havanas from a stumble home.
Of course.
Thank you.
Dr. Rank.
Extraordinary.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Ciao, Bella. Good night, Torvald.
Good night.
Sleep tight.
I will. Thanks for the light.
He was feeling pretty good.
Yes?
I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Just emptying the box. Looks like more work from the bank.
You're not working tonight.
No, Nora, did you try to open this? It looks like the lock's been played with.
The lock?
Yes, it's all scratched. Helen,
Probably one of the kids.
why on earth?
Well, they were throwing snowballs and ice all over the porch.
I'll talk to them in the morning. Jesus, look at it all. What's this?
Torvald.
It's from Rank.
Oh, well, but he was just here.
It's a business card. Must have dropped it on his way out.
Just a card?
Yes, but there's a little black cross over his name. Jesus, he must have been really drunk. You all right? He's taking all this Dracula stuff too seriously.
Yes.
What's the matter?
Nothing. You're going to work now. There's a lot there.
No, not now. I mean, yes, it's a lot, but it'll be there in the morning.
Yes.
Bedtime.
Huh? Yes. Sounds good to me.
Sounds more than good to me. Why don't you go on up ahead? I'm just gonna Put this on top of the already towering pile. And don't change out of that just yet. Nora! You know what this is?
Yes.
Tell me this is some sick joke, Nora.
I can't do that, Torvald.
Well, it's true.
Yes, that I have loved you more than anything else in the world.
What does that even mean? Do you know what this is? This is a betrayal.
I did it all for you, Torvald.
Please, I can't. This is. I can't believe this is happening to me. You've ruined my life.
Well, then let me go, Torvald,
Not going
please.
anywhere. You sit there, and with whatever dignity you have left, or sliver of respect you still have for me and your children,
Torvald.
you explain yourself.
Well, everything is in the letter.
You confess it. Like a common criminal. Do you understand what this means?
I do now.
12 years. How terrible am I, Nora, that you would conspire? Yes, that's what it is. You've conspired with this other you? This thing I don't recognize to lie, to suck the life out of the man who for 12 years, Nora, I've given you everything. And still you sit there. I loved you so much. And you've brought this ugliness into my home, to my children. Their mother is a criminal. You could be led away from this house in handcuffs. In front of the Stetsons, the whole neighborhood. I should have seen this coming. Advice to a bachelor, they say, look at your young lady's mother, because that's what she will look like when she gets old. But what they don't say is take a look at the father. A good look, not his physical appearance, but inside. What he's really like, and that's who you'll find your wife was going to be. You see, that's where I went wrong. He was pathetic. He was no moral fiber.
Listen.
You had to go to Kronstadt. The rest of my life is now a thrall to a man who hates me, Nora. What humiliation must he be cooking up? I fired him on Christmas Eve.
The humiliation is mine. I'll take it somewhere far away from you.
Where, Nora? What is this, the Dark Ages? News travels very fast. Get your head out of the clouds for once in your life, for Christ's sake. No one is going to believe you capable of this. They'll chalk it up to hysteria or hormones, but no one's going to think poor Helmer. No one could have known what his wife was doing. I'm the one that has to face the consequences. How could you not see what you've done to me?
I do.
Really? So, what are we going to do? Just get that coat off, all right? Now, just give the bastard what he wants. Acquiesce to anything. Just keep him quiet, yes? And here in this house, you and I, everything to the outside will just seem fine and dandy. You'll stay here. I'll set up another room. Come and go quietly as you please. But you will have nothing to do with the girls. You will not raise my children. Do you understand? You've done enough damage already. Happiness was an impossibility. The minute you sign that note, appearances will just have to do. What is that? Stay where you are. Kronstadt, addressed to you. So here it comes. It's the first wave.
Read it, Torvald.
Yes. No time like the present to see what shame really looks like.
What?
There is a God.
What does it say?
Saved. We both are. He says that he's sorry for the trouble he's caused, and that when there is no beauty in life, it's very easy to inflict ugliness. But now I haven't. Who cares? The promissory note, it's over. We're saved. Nora, just give me that. This is how you erase the past. Goodbye. It's nothing left to haunt us. My God. What are you thinking, my little chipmunk? Can you believe it?
It's been horrible.
You've been through a lot.
Torvald.
Listen, darling, I know. This is hard to take in all at once. 10 minutes ago, it was very different, but I need you to believe me. It's over.
I do?
And I've forgiven you for everything. I realize now that however misguided it was, you did it out of love.
I did.
You thought you were doing your duty. What was right? I can't fault you for that. But from now on, I need you to come to me. There are things you can't possibly understand. This is what I love about you, your spirit, your enthusiasm. But you have to know your limits. I know mine. I can be hot-headed. I've got a temper, and sometimes what serves me in the boardroom isn't as effective in the living room. I know I've said some things that were hard to hear. I was in a bit of a shock, but it's all over. It's the past. You understand?
I think so.
I've forgiven you, Nora.
Thank you.
Just let it go.
Excuse me for a minute.
It's all going better now. Just a little blip, that's all. Nora, what color rug were you thinking for in here? You mentioned the other day. You know what? There's some new furniture too. I like that fancy new leather set the Stetsons had. A little tacky, actually. Jet blacks, that much. But they don't have any taste. What do you say to a nice, warm mahogany brown? Keep it all nice for the nest for my little chickies. I'm gonna miss that dress, Nora. I'll have to get it out again before next Christmas, or, excuse me, Boxing Day. Halloween, maybe. No. Can't be walking around with the kids going door to door. That outfit, you might get arrested. Nora, you're not moping, are you? Come tomorrow morning. Tonight will just seem like a bad dream. It's changed.
I have.
Going for a midnight stroll. You know what time it is,
I'm not tired.
Nora.
Sit down, Torvald.
What's this all about? You don't look well.
Sit down, please. I have some things that I have to say to you. Please?
I'm not sure I care for this tone, Nora.
Then don't make me take it.
All right. I'll sit down, but I don't really get what you...
And that is exactly the point. You don't get it, Torvald. Me. You've never understood me, and to be completely fair, I haven't understood you until tonight. Please let me finish. We need to settle some things.
What does that mean?
Are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Thank you. This is strange, isn't it? Us like this?
What?
For 12 years? Man and wife, and this is the first serious conversation that we've ever had.
serious. We've had serious talks before.
Lectures are not conversations.
Am I supposed to come home from working all day and spill my guts about things you don't understand or could care less about?
I'm not talking about business. You and me, we've never really talked about anything. How was your day at work? Fine. And how is my wee little whittle chipmunk?
What do you want to talk about, Nora?
See, that's just it. You wouldn't even know. And who can blame you? You were right. My father left me nothing. He handed me off to you with nothing but to recommend me a pretty smile and a decent pair of legs and a certain charm at dinner parties, and that's exactly what you wanted.
I've loved you more than anyone in the world.
I think that you do. Or at least you like the idea of loving me.
You can't say that.
When I was a girl, my father told me what was what about everything, and every opinion he had became mine. And I was rewarded for parroting them back. And if I ever had a different opinion or a subversive thought, I kept it hidden here, deep down, so that I wouldn't disappoint him. I was his little doll. He actually called me that, and he played with me like I did with my little dolls, and I knew that he loved it. So I played along, and then he walked me down an aisle and literally handed me to you.
Can you talk like this?
Well, you weren't the one being treated. Well, there was a single second. I remember he let me go at the altar and smiled. I didn't smile back. Well, neither of you could see me through my veil. I hesitated as you reached out your hand, and for that 1 second, in that single in-between breath, I thought, I'm free. And then it was gone. I think that was the last moment of my life that I was happy. And then you took over where Daddy left off, and your opinions and tastes became mine, just as his did. And this lump in my chest of Nora, secret thoughts got bigger and bigger, and to keep it from exploding, I just gave in. Completely submitted, shut off my mind and let you spoil me, performed tricks like a well-trained dog, let you tell me what dresses to buy and what silly costumes to wear, even how to dance. You moved my limbs for me, just like I did my little dolls. I let you and my father allow me to be nothing.
I'm sorry. It's not true. I've loved you for 12 years. I worked every day of my life to make you happy.
I convinced myself that I was. I was fooled too.
I refuse to believe that.
We're playing house. I've been playing the wife, and every once in a while I see this big eye looking at me through one of those windows. And this great big hand comes and changes my clothes or moves me to another room. And I pretend it didn't happen, but there I am in this other room, and there are my two little imaginary girls who see my big eye looking at them. And I know that they're just as scared of my big hand. I'm sorry, Torvald.
Nora, I hear you. And I'm man enough to recognize some truths in what you say. Playtime's over. I'm going to make this work. You have to let...
This is not something that you can control.
I mean, together. I can help you, us to...
Why? You'll teach me how to raise the girls. Because I am unfit.
What are you saying?
Oh, you just said 10 minutes ago. You will not raise my children.
In the heat of the moment, I take it back.
But you were right. I'm not up to it. I'm barely here. There's still something left. I think that lump right here. All of those secret thoughts, but that's all that I've got. And I have to start there. I have to go and figure out who the hell I am.
Nora.
Until then, I am no good to the children. To Emmy. And Tess, I can't be here. I have to go. I'm sorry, that moment at the altar, that 1 second of freedom, it's not enough. I've been killing myself slowly. Though lately the pace has seemed to picked up. That's what my daddy did to me. I'm ruining the girls.
Nora.
Goodbye, Torvald.
No, Nora. This is crazy. I won't let you.
I'll only take what is mine.
You're not thinking straight.
I'll see about staying with Christine tonight.
I can't accept this.
Well, there's no choice. Believe me, I wish that there was.
You can't leave your family, your children. What do people think? You'll be a pariah.
I already am.
You made a vow to me. In the eyes of God, till death.
And I broke one to myself.
For yourself, you are a wife and a mother.
No, I don't believe that anymore. I'm a human being, or I'd like to be, and I need to figure out how to become one. I get it. The rest of the world, you are absolutely right. And you've got all the right books and the laws to back you up, but I don't care for other people's opinions when I don't even know my own.
I'll get you help. We have friends. Dr. Rank.
He can't help anymore.
We should go back to church.
What?
Maybe we've lost some sacred connection.
I never had it.
All right.
Please, we need to stop being babies.
I don't know who I'm talking to.
And you don't want to know. We don't see things the same way. I saved your life, and I'm a criminal.
You've no idea the way the world works.
You're right. I'm still a child, and I can't grow up in this house.
So you're making a rational decision to leave your husband and children?
Yes, I am.
Then you don't love me.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. It hurts very much, but it's true. I can't stay.
Nora, what did I do?
Torvald.
Please.
Tonight, despite everything, I was holding on to a sliver of hope.
For what?
Something glorious. I've been waiting for 12 years. I convinced myself that it was finally going to happen. I never imagined that you would accept Krogstad's blackmail. I was convinced that you were going to tell him to go to hell.
Let him expose you to public scandal.
Well, I thought you would have stepped up and said it was me. I did it. I am the guilty one.
But Nora.
Well, it would have been glorious and awful. And to prevent it, I thought about killing myself.
I've given you everything. I have, but no man, even for his wife, would give up his dignity.
Millions of women have done it. It's true. Listen to us. We're speaking different languages. You read that second letter, and your fear just disappeared. Like it was never there. One moment, I was a betrayer, and the next, your wee little chipmunk. The truth is, I am neither.
Nora, please. I think I understand. The bridge between us is broken, but it can be fixed.
As I am no good to you.
To hear the things you're saying, I could change.
But only if your doll is taken away.
No, it's late and it's freezing. Just wait until the morning.
I can't sit in a stranger's room.
Oh, but we could live together like brother and sister.
It wouldn't work, and you know it. I won't see Emmy and Tess. They have Helen. She was all that I had. They're in better hands. Well, tell them, Mama. Tell them whatever you have to.
Forever, Nora?
I don't know.
You're still my wife. For better or worse.
Well, legally, I am deserting you. File for separation, divorce. I won't contest. I don't want anything. I'm freeing you too. Here, Torvald. Can I have mine?
That too.
Yes. I will send Christine tomorrow to pick up some things. Goodbye, Torvald.
Think of me, Nora, and the kids.
Every day. I'll never stop.
I'll write to you.
No.
Oh, what will you do for money? Let me.
No, never.
Nora, please. Say no chance.
Something beyond glorious would have to happen.
What?
Well, we'd have to change so much that
What?
I don't believe in miracles anymore.
Please let me. At least we have to change so much that what?
That our life together would be a marriage. Goodbye.
End of play. Ooh. I'm going to stop the recording. Can we welcome everyone back?